All right, comrades, let's take another look at Georgi Dimitrov's diary and see what we can glean from its pages today. Dimitrov says, "The crisis of capitalism has manifested itself into the division of the capitalist into two factions, one fash, the other democratic. The alliance between ourselves and the democratic faction of capitalists came about because the latter had a stake in preventing Hitler's domination. For the brutal state that would have driven the working class to extremes and to the overthrow of capitalism itself. We are currently allied with one faction against the other, but in the future we will be against the first faction of capitalists too. Perhaps we are mistaken when we suppose that the Soviet form is the only one that leads to socialism. In practice, it turns out that the Soviet form is the best, but by no means the only form. There may be other forms. The democratic republic, and even under certain conditions, the constitutional monarchy." Two things that I find interesting that we can take from this is, one, that our allies and our enemies change based on our material conditions, based at what stage we are in the revolutionary situation or what stage we are in the historical development of the struggle, right? And so I think that that's one important thing that we can get here, is where Dimitrov is saying how the USSR is allied with certain capitalists at this given time, but later on will be against those capitalists, right? And this goes the same for us here in our struggle on the ground in the United States. Another thing that I find interesting in this piece is where Dimitrov talks about how the Soviet model is not the only form. And I feel that a lot of Marxist-Leninists are trying to copy-paste the USSR, the Bolshevik Revolution, here in the United States. And I think that it's important all the time to remember that we're not doing that. There are no cut-and-dry methods to revolution. And our revolution will be carried out different because the world is different. And our conditions, the world is different today, and our conditions here in the United States are quite obviously much different than in the Soviet period.